The law of attraction, the belief that you can get anything you want with the power of your imagination. It seems harmless, right? It's just positive thinking. Well, that's what I thought until I started researching and discovered that the deeper into law of attraction you dive, the darker and more dangerous it gets. I believe it was the philosopher Ariana Grande who once said, "I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it." She manifested. Manifesting, or the law of attraction, or the law of assumption, or lucky girl syndrome, or whatever else the kids are calling it nowadays, are all the same thing. It is the belief that all that stands between you and your heart's desires is you. You want fat stacks of cash? Visualize that balance in your bank account. You want a Ferrari? Imagine your hands wrapping around the steering wheel and inhale that new car smell. You want a new Lorde album? That's nice.
Manifesting!
No matter how grand or unattainable or downright ridiculous your desire is, all you need to do is attract it. Make a vision board, write a journal entry, meditate, speak it into existence, listen to high-frequency music, repeat affirmations, comment yes to claim, hit that subscribe button, sign up for my course, buy my workbook, come to one of my talks, come on a cruise with me, make a large donation.
Sign up for your firstborn.
Oh, that's not. The law of attraction is constantly being repackaged and sold back to you. In each new wave of books, films, and TikTok lives, also known as the holy trinity of modern media, grifters prey on your hopes and desires and offer you a solution that seems too good to be true.
You know, this secret gives you everything you want. Happiness, health, and wealth.
Well, not seems. It is too good to be true. And like I said, on the surface, it might just look like positive thinking. But it actually conceals something much more sinister. And if you choose to follow the law of attraction, what dangers lie in your path?
But it is very true that the way you think creates reality for yourself.
Now life is going to take a new form and shape for you.
I am going to show you guys how you can manifest your dream life.
Manifest your dream life.
It's been on my vision board for years. It's a law of attraction.
I get every single thing I want.
Listen to what I'm about to say because this is going to change your life.
Things are always working out in my favor.
You have to be delusional.
I've never in my life encountered such positive thinking.
Hi, I'm Ellen, and you're watching Literacy. I just want to say a quick thank you to my patrons who help make this video possible. If you like videos like this and you want a little bonus video or podcast for each one, you can subscribe to my Patreon. I'm doing a full breakdown of the utter insanity that is The Secret documentary, if you're interested.
But I do know this, that you can cook a man's dinner with electricity, and you can also cook the man.
Or feel free to just hang out here. You can hit the subscribe or the like if you're so inclined, but no pressure. I want to set the table a little before digging in to tear the law of attraction to shreds, but if you are someone who finds the law of attraction or manifestation or whatever helpful, by all means work away. We're going to see as the video goes on, but I'm not just criticizing like making a vision board or meditating or visualization. I'm criticizing like the framework of the law of attraction and the people who promote it. So by breaking down what's problematic with the law of attraction, I'm not saying that you yourself are problematic. We are looking at systems, not individuals, as always. So this is not a personal attack on anyone, except maybe Rhonda Byrne. Sleep with one eye open, Miss Byrne. The law of attraction is the belief that like attracts like, and that whatever you put out into the universe, whatever you focus on, whatever vibrational frequency you are operating at, the universe will match you and give you back more of the same. The law of attraction, as we know today, falls under the kind of new age spiritual beliefs. It's not necessarily tied to any one religion, but it can be. The law of attraction and all of its siblings and offspring take aspects of different religions and philosophies, like the power of thought in Stoicism, the notion of karma, the notion of like a higher power or the universe like pulling the strings, all mixed in with a bit of pseudoscience here and there. We see elements of it in some sects of Christianity as well, like the prosperity gospel, which is the belief that health and wealth are God's will, and so material or financial success is then evidence that you are favored by God. But the law of attraction has its roots in a 19th century philosophy called New Thought, which is the belief that we are all divine beings, that sickness originates in our mind, and that we can use the power of our thought to heal ourselves, to change our material world. There have been several books in the 20th century about this, like The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles from 1910 and Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill from 1937. And these two books are often referenced by modern law of attraction gurus and followers. And though there are a lot of precursors to the modern law of attraction, what really propelled it into the mainstream was the documentary and accompanying book The Secret by Rhonda Byrne from 2006. The Secret sold 30 million copies. And to give you an idea of its popularity, it took over the 7th Harry Potter on the Amazon bestseller list in 2007. So it was kind of a big deal. Byrne and her book were promoted on Oprah, they were parodied and referenced in TV shows.
And I even called Oprah. Well, I tried to call Oprah. I couldn't get her number. I'm putting it out there, like The Secret.
What the hell's a vision board?
Oh, it's The Secret. Yeah, The Secret is a self-help book that Dee read and explained to us. It's about how you can get whatever you want without having to work for it.
Learn the answer and change your life.
I know that my mom had the book The Secret, and I'm sure many of your families also had a copy of The Secret like floating around your house. Along with The Secret, we have Esther and Jerry Hicks, who have written several books on the law of attraction and have done tours and cruises. Esther claims to channel a non-physical being called Abraham, who acts as a teacher and life coach and educates people on the law of attraction. There's also a subsection of manifestation called the law of assumption, which was popularized by Neville Goddard, and it's very similar to the law of attraction with some slight changes. I'm just going to stick to the two case studies of The Secret and Abraham/Esther Hicks because I feel like those work really well together to illustrate the problems with The Secret. And also, I was reading so much about manifestation and the law of attraction, and I was like, I actually cannot do another deep dive into the law of assumption and Neville Goddard because I took a peek and I was like, it's more of the same. I watched and read The Secret for this video, and in the interest of full transparency, it was actually a rewatch and a reread. Excuse me. Yeah, confession time. Forgive me, subscribers, for I have sinned. I did read and watch The Secret years ago. When I was deep in my vegan YouTube phase, this was 10 years ago. I was a teenager. And I kept hearing people talk about the law of attraction and The Secret, and I was kind of in the hippy-dippy woo-woo side of vegan YouTube. It was a dark time for me. We've all made mistakes, but I am no better than anybody else. I too was scripting and manifesting that Timothée Chalamet would be my boyfriend, okay? It was a dark time. Something interesting about the law of attraction is that it is an entirely individualistic tool. We have the philosophy, like attracts like, that you will get what you put out into the world, right? But this doesn't mean that people are encouraged to volunteer or give to a charity or be kind in order to attract positivity into their own lives. It mostly entails visualization and rewriting your own internal monologue or narrative to match with your dream life. It's writing, I am so grateful to be living in my New York City penthouse apartment from your cupboard under the stairs. It's making a vision board of your dream man and staring at him as you fall asleep, maybe propping it up next to you at the table when you eat dinner alone. Anything is possible. But, not world peace or, fighting climate change or ending systemic inequality. Nothing like that. It's you want some money. Yeah, you can get that. You want a partner? Sure. Anything beyond that, I guess, out of the realm of possibility, allegedly. But according to the gurus, the law of attraction always works.
Always works. It works every time with every person.
You want a Ferrari? You got it. But if you don't got it, then actually that's your fault. It means that you are doing something wrong. All of the law of attraction promoters say that you need to fully trust in the universe and in the law of attraction, because any doubt or questioning will show that you don't fully believe in the law of attraction, and so the universe won't deliver your dreams.
You can't want it so much that you fear that you won't get it. You have to want it. So in order for me to be on your vision board, you must have put it there and then you let it go.
Yes.
And then you weren't thinking about it every day. Because it doesn't come to you that way.
It's called the law of attraction, babe, not the law of desperation. You can't be wishing, you can't be hoping, you can't be begging the universe to give you what you want. That's not the law of attraction.
It's not a problem with the law of attraction. It's actually a problem with you. It kind of reminds me of the fad diets and like wellness trends where like someone will say, if you drink lemon water, you'll lose weight. And then someone will say, well, I drank lemon water and I didn't lose any weight. And then the response is like, well, you didn't use organic lemons, or you drank it too fast, or you drank it too slow, or the water was the wrong temperature, or you didn't use filtered water, or you drank it on an empty stomach, or you didn't drink it on an empty stomach. See, like all of these kind of parameters around a trend that keep raising the bar higher and higher so that it's actually impossible to reach. So then the problem isn't with the trend. It's with your failure to meet the standard of the trend, which is all just bullshit. And it's all just designed to make you feel worse about yourself. I think with younger generations kind of turning away from institutionalized religion, the law of attraction feels like a substitute for praying for the non-religious, and it's also a scapegoat to answer big questions. You know, it's no longer this person has this because God granted it, or this person must have been great in a past life to earn this. It's like this person has this because they know the secret. They use the law of attraction. It's also a much lower barrier to entry. Like you don't have to read the Bible or the Torah or the Quran to know what you have to do. There aren't any like rules in place really. It's also vague enough that you can like overlay your own religious beliefs on top of it if you want. It also feels much more optimistic than some other doctrines. It feels like it gives you more agency and control over your own destiny, which is why I think it really boomed over COVID when a lot of us were feeling very much out of control. The secret also plays into the new age conspiracy beliefs that there is like an elite group that are running the world.
The leaders in the past who had the secret wanted to keep the power and not share the power.
With the name The Secret, with all of the marketing and branding around it, the documentary suggests that they are revealing something. Byrne will say things like, the greatest thinkers in history all knew the secret, and that was why they were so successful. And the documentary very much presents the secret as if it's something that the top 1% or the Illuminati have been hiding from us this whole time, that it has been suppressed and hidden from the masses, and now all hail Rhonda Byrne for revealing the secret.
Why do you think that 1% of the population earns around 96% of all the money that's being earned? Do you think that's an accident? It's no accident. It's designed that way.
Like so many other New Age beliefs as well, it incorporates a lot of pseudoscience to make it seem like these ideas are proven or legitimate, which they're not. There's a lot of cherry picking going on. The name law of attraction gives it the concept of legitimacy. You know, it's a law. It must be true. There are so many comparisons to the law of gravity.
The law of attraction is always working. It's like the law of gravity. If I let this go, it's going to go down. It's never going to go back up. It's going to go down. That is the law of gravity.
Just as there's a law of gravity, if you fall off a building, it doesn't matter whether you're a good person or a bad person, you're gonna hit the ground.
Except no one's really making millions off of gravity. I'm also pretty sure that there are a wealth of studies and experiments proving gravity. The law of attraction, not so much. There might be studies attesting to the power of placebo or positive thinking, but then the law of attraction community will like latch onto that and say, this is proof of the law of attraction, which it's not. Those two things are not the same. And in The Secret, Rhonda Byrne writes, the law of attraction is the law of creation. Quantum physicists tell us that the entire universe emerged from thought. Listen, I'm not a quantum physicist. Shocker. I know. But I don't think I need a PhD in quantum physics to see the bullshit in the sentence. The entire universe emerged from thought.
Oh, come on. Think.
What thought? Whose thought? It just doesn't make any sense. And I don't need to be a scientist to know that like the theory for the creation of the universe is a toss-up between like the Big Bang and thought.
Huh?
Law of attraction works will throw out buzzwords like vibrations and frequency and energy.
Control the vibration that you're in. Vibration is nothing but an idea. It's a law of the universe. Everything vibrates, nothing rests. We live in an ocean of motion.
And make some kind of allusions to quantum physics, and very much relies on your lack of knowledge in quantum physics to sell you the idea that this is scientifically proven. And, you know, law of attraction writers will say quantum physics says this, or discoveries in quantum physics have demonstrated blah, blah, blah.
Quantum physics really begins to point to this discovery. It says that you can't have a universe without mind entering into it.
But then they won't cite any of those discoveries. And the one thing that I know about scientists and the scientific method is that those scientists, they love an experiment and they love a study. And yet, not one is included to support these claims. Suspicious, but still, you might be asking, who cares? You know, what's the problem here? Who cares if people believe in a little bit of positive thinking?
Positive thinking.
Well, because the underlying belief in the law of attraction is that your thoughts have the power to create your reality. Once we move past the talk of attracting a car or a partner, things get much, much worse. The Secret documentary and so many other law of attraction texts tell you that your thoughts are powerful, that your thoughts make things happen. Anything that you think will come true.
Everything that's around you right now in your life, including the things you're complaining about, you've attracted.
And again, if we're talking about a car or some money, that's a nice sentiment. However, if you have OCD or if you suffer from repetitive or intrusive thoughts, you may already believe that your thoughts will come true, but not in like a superpower manifestation sense. More like, if I don't turn the light on and off 8 times, my entire family is going to die. Which, not quite as fun. I don't have OCD, but I have a few close friends who do, and I've seen and heard about the amount of anxiety and suffering the thoughts and compulsions cause. I do have intrusive thoughts though. I don't know if it's a part of ADHD or what, but before I knew what they were, anytime something absolutely wild popped into my head, I would get so panicked. I'd be like, why am I thinking this? This is crazy. Am I actually a terrible person? So the narrative that you are your thoughts, that your thoughts have the power to create reality, whatever, might not be as positive as you think. And also, if The Secret were true, then there wouldn't be hypochondriacs or people with delusions of grandeur or anything, because all of those things would come true. And because the law of attraction says, good or bad, your thoughts will come true. And everything in your reality is a result of your thoughts. As you might imagine, there is a lot of victim blaming and problematic narratives. Sickness, disease, disability are all said to be products of thinking sick thoughts. And in The Secret, Rhonda Byrne literally writes that fat people are fat because they're thinking fat thoughts.
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that
Okay. The Secret documentary also spotlights a woman who says that she cured her breast cancer through the law of attraction.
From the time I was diagnosed, which was November 23rd, to the time I was healed totally was approximately 3 months. And that's without radiation and chemotherapy.
This is just such a damaging message to send. And I actually can't believe how irresponsible Rhonda Byrne and her team were for having this in the documentary. Rhonda Byrne and Esther Hicks both say that no disease is incurable and that everything can be cured through the right mindset.
We see doctors and scientists literally scaring people to death with their pronouncements of diseases that are incurable, when we know that there is not any disease that is incurable.
I always say that incurable means curable from within,
which is only going to discourage people from seeking actual medical treatment. The law of attraction also says, your cancer or any other ailment is your fault.
They had a vibration going for a long time that they didn't know they had going. They had desires that they were in opposition for. That's why the illness happened within their physical apparatus to begin with.
And so is anybody else's. Esther Hicks, or Abraham, says in the law of attraction that we actually shouldn't even try to help those who are sick. And this again goes back to the individualistic mindset. Yeah, you have this superpower to get anything you want, but don't worry about anyone else because their bad situations are just their fault. Don't wear COVID masks or get vaccinated because you'll only catch the illness because you're worrying about it. If you truly believed in the law of attraction, you wouldn't need a vaccine or medicine or anything. The victim blaming goes beyond health to encompass all societal issues. The poor are poor because they're wrapped up in a negative poverty mindset, and the rich get richer because they know the secret.
Good days, bad days, rich get richer, poor get poorer. It's all about what these people are predominantly and continually feeling.
It shuts down any critical thought. It prevents any empathy or compassion. And in this line of thinking as well, any like community building or activism is pointless, because if we're to focus on the problems, we're only going to create more of the problems, because that's where we're focusing. It literally says that in the documentary.
You know, the anti-war movement creates more war. The anti-drug movement has actually created more drugs because we're focusing on what we don't want, drugs.
The drug one in particular grinds my gears because addiction is already stigmatized enough, and people fail to recognize that it is a disease, that it is not a choice, and then this kind of rhetoric only reinforces the belief that it's a choice or like some moral failing. Great. And according to Esther Hicks and Rhonda Byrne, there is no such thing as social or economic inequality. Any kind of like prejudice or difficulties are just, you know, they're the products of the bad vibes that you've been putting out in the universe.
Please leave any bad vibes outside the healing vortex.
Whether it's a hate crime or the Holocaust, everything stems from that Debbie Downer mentality that you've got going on. And if you think that I am exaggerating, I wish that you were right. In The Secret, Byrne writes, often when people first hear this part of The Secret, they recall events in history where masses of lives were lost, and they find it incomprehensible that so many people could have attracted themselves to the event. By the law of attraction, they had to be on the same frequency as the event. It doesn't necessarily mean they thought of that exact event, but the frequency of their thoughts matched the frequency of the event. If people believe they can be in the wrong place at the wrong time and they have no control over outside circumstances, those thoughts of fear, separation, and powerlessness, if persistent, can attract them to being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Before we dissect that, one more quote from The Law of Attraction by Esther Abraham Hicks. Jerry asks, why is there prejudice? Abraham, it is often felt that there are those who do not like certain characteristics about other beings. So in their dislike of those characteristics, they are responsible for the prejudice. We want to point out that it is not only the doing of the one who is accused of being prejudiced. More often, the one who feels discriminated against is the most powerful creator in that experience. The being who feels that others do not like him, for whatever reason, whether it is religion, race, gender, or social status, no matter what the reason is that he feels he's being discriminated against, it is his attention to the subject of the prejudice that attracts his trouble. That's a lot of words to basically say any racism, sexism, ableism, any kind of systematic disenfranchisement that you encounter is because you attracted it. And it's not actually the fault of the racist or the sexist or whoever. It's actually your doing because you attracted that. And then, you know, like Rhonda Byrne said, all of the Jews who were murdered in World War II, all of the Palestinians currently being murdered by Israel, it's all because of their bad vibes. Are these really the people that we want to be listening to? Do you see how ridiculous these lines of thinking are once we fully interrogate them? Because they completely crumble in the face of any like further investigation, which is why people like Rhonda Byrne and Esther Hicks discourage any doubt or critical thinking and emphasize the importance of blind trust in the universe. And with their books, with their coaching sessions, with their cruises, they are targeting the most vulnerable people. The people who are desperate for a quick fix, the people who are in dire circumstances, who are struggling to find a way out of their debt, who might be really alone and looking for a partner, who might be ill. And it's not a coincidence that these ideas surge in times of kind of mass depression and hopelessness. Think and Grow Rich, which is one of the like founding law of attraction texts, was published in 1937 during the Great Depression, and then Manifestation surged over COVID. You know, it's all trying to give people hope and a sense of like agency over their own lives in a world where things often feel very out of our control. I actually don't even care whether they fully believe in the law of attraction or not, because once you're starting to say things like racism is your fault, or, you know, children being slaughtered in war are there because of their bad vibes, I have to cut any kind of belief in good intentions at that point, which is why I think that we should all start manifesting their downfall. Comment yes to claim. I've talked a lot about The Secret, Rhonda Byrne, and Esther Hicks, but like the title of this video suggests, the law of attraction is always evolving. Or, well, people are always repackaging it and passing it off as their own in order to sell you shit. I'm not a big self-help / pop psychology girly, but from looking at the big titles over the past few years, I think we can see manifestation being repackaged again and again. The world of self-help is all about taking power into your own hands. But in order to do that, you must put money into whatever guide or guru or grifter that you come across. The book You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero came out in 2013, and it's essentially a repackaging of the law of attraction for like the millennial girl boss generation. Katie Heaney profiled Sincero for The Cut and described Sincero as a sassier, funnier, more self-aware Rhonda Byrne. And Heaney summarizes You Are a Badass as, the badass message is this: everything you want, you can have. And mostly what you want is money. If you don't have money, you secretly think you don't deserve it, or you're in your own way, or you don't want it as much as you think you want it, or you're vibrating at the wrong frequency. Sound familiar? Like the law of attraction, it completely ignores any systemic issues, and it is entirely self-serving. The book is full of anecdotes of Sincero manifesting things, mainly money. She writes about how she needed $85,000 for a life coach, so she went to one of her friends and asked for $85,000. Really inspirational. Really inspirational. She then went on to write You Are a Badass at Making Money. What a financial queen. And you can channel her senorita awesomeness with a $37 pillow that says breathe on it, or one of her many magnets. And to all of the haters out there, Sincero writes, if you try getting through this book and decide it's a bunch of crap, you can go back to your sucky life. She got me there. She got me there. Mel Robbins has been popping off, for lack of a better word, lately, and she is the popularizer of the let them theory, which is all about detaching from expectations and actions of others. As far as I know, I actually have no desire to read it, and any kind of exposure to it prior to this video has been against my will. And like, from researching it, as far as I know, it's not as close to the law of attraction as You Are a Badass, but Mel Robbins promotes manifestation on her YouTube channel and her podcast, and she's kind of built this whole like life coaching brand around herself, and manifestation is one of the things that she promotes. In the 2020s, TikTokers came along and they asked, how can we rebrand the law of attraction for the Gen Z girlies? Add the word girl. It's perfect. Foolproof. Works every time. Girl math. Hot girl walks. Lucky girl syndrome. We have reached the girlification of culture. There doesn't seem to be one pioneer of lucky girl syndrome. Like, several different people have gone viral talking about how they use it or how it's worked for them. If you look up lucky girl syndrome, you'll see a stream of countless young women primarily promoting affirmations, subliminals, tips, ebooks, and workbooks on how to take advantage of lucky girl syndrome. Like The Secret, by calling this lucky girl syndrome, it implies that this is something like inherent in you. It's something that you already have. It's not something that you have to work for, or like no actions have to be taken. And with lucky girl syndrome, most of the criticism that I've seen surrounding it involves pointing out the privilege of its supporters. A lot of articles ask questions like, is it lucky girl syndrome or is it just privilege? And this is a question that we could ask about like all of the iterations of manifestation. You know, did Jen Sincero manifest that $85,000, or is she just surrounded by wealthy people? Up to you. But the majority of creators gaining traction around lucky girl syndrome were thin young white women, and a lot of their manifestations are things like a job or a car or a text back from a crush. It's the same kind of individualistic desires and focuses that we saw with the other iterations of the law of attraction, and I have no doubt that we are going to see new iterations of the law of attraction or manifestation popping up over and over again. Each content creator or author or self-help guru claims that they have found the secret to hacking the secret. They have pinpointed the reason that your positive thinking isn't manifesting your dream life. So much of the content is engagement bait, as you could probably imagine. It's things like having trouble manifesting your dream life. I got you.
If you want proof that the universe is always listening and responding to you, you need to watch this video.
This is such an underrated hack for physical change manifestation.
Here's the reason your manifestations are not coming true.
Do you want to know why your manifestations are not working? And do you want a super easy fix?
If there's one thing that you need to learn right now, that you need to start doing right now.
I finally cracked the code to manifestation, and I'm going to tell you how you can do it too. There are memes about the engagement bait of like, comment yes to claim on things saying like, I can heal your IBS. Your IBS is healed. Comment yes to claim. Yes. A lot of viral manifestation believers offer workbooks and courses and one-to-one coaching to guide you, to help you unblock your limiting beliefs and reach your full potential. Now, I've not done any of these coaching sessions or courses, but I imagine that some of it is quite like therapy. The issue, however, is that therapy doesn't necessarily promise you anything at the end of it. You might hope going into therapy that you will fix your relationship with yourself or your partner or your family or substances, whatever it may be, but the therapist hopefully is not saying, you know, do this with me and all of your dream desires will come true. Whereas the manifestation coaches are. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a money expert by any means. Do whatever you want with your money. But I think if you're having issues with money, the solution might not be to give it to one of these self-help grifters, because you're going to fall down a rabbit hole of self-help books, seminars, coaching sessions, branded journals, affirmation cards, cruises, and the rabbits will lead you to believe that everything negative in your life is your fault and that you can become a billionaire with your thoughts and that germ theory isn't real. It's actually your mindset that infects you with the flu, not that nasty little virus cell. And like I said at the top of the video, it might all seem harmless, but when we dig into what's actually behind this positive thinking or manifestation, it has a lot of dangerous implications. So maybe let's put those self-help books back on the shelf and scroll past that TikTok live.
Don't be afraid to hit that block button.
Anyways, if you want to hear more about my advice on how to avoid scammers and grifters, you can attend my coaching seminar for the low, low price of €33,333. Could you imagine? That'd be crazy. But if anyone does want to throw a coin or two my way, the link to the Patreon is in the description. If you like the video, subscribing and liking always helps. If you are a patron, I will see you very soon. And if you are not, I will see you in my next video. Bye. Special shout out to Kelly T, Paula Boone, Cecilia Diarville, Eric Danielson, and my Sharpay Evans tier patrons.